Modern-day conclaves are steeped in mystery. Cardinal electors swear an oath of secrecy, and so do the cooks, drivers, medics and others who support their deliberations. Before the conclave began today, the Sistine Chapel was swept for electronic bugs. Jamming devices were installed and special coating was placed on windows to stop laser scanners picking up anything audible. It wasn't always this way. In the past, letters, diaries and other writings by cardinals and their attendants gave revealing accounts of what happened in the meetings convened to choose a pope. To begin with, the success of Peter was always chosen with the participation of the ecclesial community. The clergy assessed candidates proposed by the faithful, and the bishops chose the pope. External influences and interferences from political powers played a major role in the election, often hindering the electoral process. Since then, various reforms gradually shaped the procedure for the election of the Pope. The first significant changes were introduced by Pope Nicholas II in 1015 with the bull In Nomine Domini, which specified that only cardinals could elect the Roman pontiff. In 1179, Pope Alexander III promulgated the constitution Licet Divitanda, introducing the requirement of a two-thirds majority, a key element that remains today. Then came the constitution of the conclave. This setting was formalized in 1274 by Pope Gregory X in the constitution Ubi Periculum, which established that in the future elections, cardinals should be locked away in seclusion, cum clave, from both inside and outside, so they could focus on their task of electing the next head of the Catholic Church without any political or personal interference. This followed his own election in the city of Viterbo in 1271, which lasted nearly 3 years, 1268 to 1271, due to external interference, and is known to be the longest in history. The story has it that in 1268, 18 cardinals gathered in the papal palace of Viterbo to elect the new pope but could not decide. 2 years after, they began their deliberations. Exasperated local people took drastic measures to try to force a conclusion. Out of frustration, the people of Viterbo decided to lock the cardinals in the Palazzo dei Papi, walled up the doors and windows, and reduced rations to bread and water. When that failed, they removed the roof, exposing the cardinals to the elements. Eventually, Teobaldo Visconti, then Archdeacon of Liège, who was not a cardinal nor even a priest, was elected as Pope Gregory X. Following Ubi Periculum, the first official conclave was held in Arezzo, Tuscany, in 1276, with the election of Innocent V. In 1621, Pope Gregory XV introduced the requirement for secret and written ballots. In 1904, Pius X abolished any claimed right of exclusion and enforced secrecy about all that happens in the conclave, even after its conclusion. After World War II, in 1945, Pope Pius XII issued the Apostolic Constitution, Vacantis Apostolicae Sedis, introducing new rules. From the moment the Holy See is vacant, all cardinals, including the Secretary of State and congregation prefects, cease their duties, except for the Camerlengo, the Penitentiary and the Vicar of Rome. Later, in the Motu Proprio Ingravesetum Aetatem, Pope Paul VI decreed that only cardinals under 80 years old could vote. The duration of conclaves varies. The longest election in history was that of Gregory X, which took 2 years and 2 months. On the opposite end of the spectrum is the one in 1503, which lasted only a few hours and led to the election of Pope Julius II. The duration of the conclave for late Pope Francis was relatively short, as he was elected on March 13, 2013, after just 5 rounds in under 2 days.
Habemus papam.
Normally, the newly elected Pope appears at the balcony to greet the crowd in St. Peter's Square within an hour from the smoke billowing from the chimney over the Sistine Chapel. While every Pope over the last few centuries has been a cardinal, this is not a requirement. This is extremely common. However, the last Pope to be appointed that was not previously a cardinal was Urban VI in 1378. Also important to note is that in 1846, the conclave elected Pius IX, who became the longest reigning pope after St. Peter, the first pope. He was pontiff for 31 years. Pope Urban VII, who was pontiff between September 15th and September 27th, 1590, reigned for 13 calendar days and died before consecration, making his papacy the shortest in history. Eligible cardinal electors can choose not to participate in the conclave. For instance, the Archdioceses of Spanish Cardinal Antonio Canizares and Kenyan Cardinal John Njue have both confirmed that the two prelates would not participate in the current papal conclave, meaning the number dropped from 135 to 133 cardinal electors electing the successor to Pope Francis. It is not clear at this stage whether this will be a long or a short conclave, but cardinals are aware that dragging the proceedings on could be interrupted as a sign of gasping disagreements. As they discuss, pray and vote, outside the boarded-up windows of the Sistine Chapel, thousands of faithful are looking up to the chimney of St. Peter's Basilica, waiting for the white plume of smoke to signal that the next pope has been elected. Joram Paul Sonko for NTV News.